The atmosphere in the stadium was extraordinary. Thousands of people were standing in their seats. The noise was like thunder. It was the final of the national sports tournament, and all eyes were fixed on only one player, Jason Miller. When he stepped onto the track, it felt like the entire field had stopped for a moment. The flashlights of the cameras were illuminating his face, and there was a strange satisfaction on his face. He knew that this moment had not been achieved easily. It was a moment born of sweat, sacrifice, and trials. But Jason's story did not begin only with that moment. It began years ago, when he was an ordinary boy with extraordinary dreams in his eyes. He always thought like an athlete, wanted to win like an athlete. As he ran through the streets of the neighborhood, people often said, "This boy runs like the wind." But some also said, "How long will he run?" Dreaming doesn't change reality. Jason kept quiet about these things, but deep down he promised himself that one day he would answer everyone. School mornings were different for him. By the time the other kids arrived at school, sleepy-eyed, Jason had already run several laps of the track. He would tie his old shoelaces and imagine himself in a big stadium as he ran. He often told himself, "One day this dream will come true." Both teachers and coaches were amazed by his hard work. His coach would often explain to him, "Jason, sports are not just about running. Sports are another name for endurance, sacrifice, and believing in yourself." These words became a beacon for him. But life is not always easy. One day, when he won the 400-meter race at high school sports day, everyone was amazed. He had left his opponents behind in the last moments. The applause continued, the noise grew louder, and for the first time, Jason felt that the world was really starting to believe in him. But the joys did not last long. A few days later, his father had an accident and was unable to walk. Now the burden of the house fell on Jason. He worked in a factory during the day, washed dishes in a cafe with his mother at night, and went out for a run before sunrise in the morning. Despite the redness in his eyes from sleep, blisters on his hands, and exhaustion on his body, he kept stepping on the track. He would fall from exhaustion many times, but he would pick himself up and say, "I was not born to lose." His mother often cried when she saw him. One day she said, "Son, this is all so hard. Is this sport really going to give us anything?" Jason held his mother's hand and said, "Mom, I am doing all this for you. One day I will do everything you have never dreamed of." Hearing this, a weak smile appeared on his mother's face, but the worry hidden behind that smile was not hidden from Jason. After enrolling in college, Jason received a sports scholarship. Now he had great opportunities ahead of him. Professional coaches, modern training, excellent facilities. All this was happening to him for the first time. But the competition was also tough. Here every athlete was an expert in his own right. Some had resources, some had a powerful background. Jason had only one thing: his stubbornness, his hard work, his passion. The training days were not easy. Many times he was injured, many times he ran with bandages on his feet. His friends often said, "Jason, rest, this will destroy your body." But he would only smile and say, "Success never comes to those who rest." Then came the day he had been waiting for years. He was selected for the national race. But fate tested him once again. The day before the race, his mother had a heart attack. Lying in a hospital bed, the mother said in a weak voice, "Son, I know you're struggling. But listen, if you give up today, you'll regret it for the rest of your life tomorrow. I want you to run for your dream, run for us." These words struck Jason like lightning. The next day when he stepped onto the track, there was a strange light in his eyes. The stadium was buzzing with applause and chants. "Go Jason! Go Jason!" Voices rang in his ears. The race began, and everyone was moving forward quickly. Jason controlled his pace at the start. He was in the middle position for half the race. But as soon as his mother's face appeared in front of his eyes in the last 200 meters, he threw himself into the race with all his might. Everyone was amazed at his speed in the last 100 meters. He was leaving everyone behind one by one. When he crossed the finish line, the entire stadium stood up. The noise was as if the earth was shaking. Jason Miller had become the new national champion of the United States. When he arrived at the hospital with the gold medal, his mother's face showed a combination of joy and peace. She smiled and said, "See, son, dreams are never for the poor. Dreams only belong to the brave." This story teaches us that the real athlete is not the one who wins only on the track, but the one who defeats every difficulty in the field of life. Poverty and difficulties are only temporary obstacles. Courage, hard work, and a mother's prayer. This is the power that makes a person invincible.